50분이며 기온은 영상 8도입니다.
Guess what? I'm in South Korea! After 2 hours of trying to figure out maps in a different language, I found my hostel. It had a nice little rooftop with this view of the Seoul Tower. It was just such a memory. But there was no one to receive me because I reached late at night. They left like a note on the door and they gave me the code to my room as well. It was super in the open. I realized how safe Korea is. Like, everyone just trusts. And I felt safe. So I had a low-key night ready for the next day. The next day, I was so happy. It was raining, and that's my favorite kind of weather. It was just like in my dreams, and I was right in downtown kind of area. So it was like Myeongdong, and I came across this BTS store, of course, which was very fascinating. There's so much shopping. It was so lively, the whole Myeongdong area. Just lights and big stores and everything so glittery and fancy. This was kind of a spontaneous trip, so I had packed none of my winter clothes, and what I really needed was a winter jacket, and I anyway wanted to buy one. I had something in mind, and so I went shopping, and this is a funny story. Okay, I gotta tell you guys this story. Like, this needs to be explained. The temperature in Seoul, I mean, I thought Canada was cold, but Seoul was like almost unbearable with like even a jacket. This is day one. I don't know the currency conversion, and like I'm bad at math anyway. I was trying to convert it in my head, really trying my best, but couldn't find exactly what I had in mind. But I'm not one to give up, so I'm looking around, and then I go under the department store, the expensive mall. I see exactly what I have in mind. How much is that for? And she goes like 260,000 won. Converting in my head, because in Canada, if I go to buy such a jacket, it would probably be like double, like $400. So in my head, that's how I justified the price. But what I didn't realize, $400 for in Canada would be like a branded jacket, right? Foolproof. But this was underground, so it's not like labeled, branded, nothing. It's just like a random thing. It's expensive for that. Fashion. When I see something, I fall in love, I want it. Like, it's my weakness. That lady was so nice. I still remember the way they spoke to me. I literally felt like she was my cousin, my aunt, or my mother or something. After that, she's like, since you're here, try it. And obviously she's trying to sell, but she was so good at her job. This is one piece that we have. It's right in your size. It's like destiny. You know, it looks amazing on you. Since it's perfectly fitting you, I'm going to remove 60,000 won. I'm going to give it to you for 200,000 won. Justified. This is what I want. I'm going to get it. And there was a little bit of peer pressure, like a lot of it. And I ended up paying for the jacket. Something in me kept nudging that I overpaid for this jacket. But to be honest, I really just felt accepted by, I don't know, the Korean community. So day one, you're traveling alone. You don't know anyone. It's like when someone's friendly to you in a different country, you just kind of slip. You know, it happens. I couldn't get this out of my mind. Like, I asked everybody. I called up my family. I'm like, do you think I overpaid this, that? And everyone's like, it's a little expensive, but you know, you liked it. It's fine. Like, you know, we wanted a jacket. It's a winter jacket. The next 2 days, I continued to look through department stores and malls, and I saw a lot of branded jackets, like really good jackets for the same price. And they were like heavy duty. So I'm like, oh shit. But none of them looked like the one I wanted. Okay, so that's that. And I kind of just swallowed that feeling and enjoyed my jacket and wore it everywhere. I want to say a week later or so, getting out of the station, some random station, and I see the exact same jacket in a different color on a mannequin. The price was 50,000 won. I'm not even bitter about it. I was for a minute, but I realized she was such a good businesswoman. She saw an opportunity, and it was my responsibility as a consumer. It became like one of the highlight stories that I got to share with a lot of people, and right now in this video, and I found that very fascinating. So now it's like something to laugh about, and I make so good use of this jacket. I still use it to this day. I love the color, I love how it looks. I think it was worth it. It was good that I learned a lesson early on in my trip, so I didn't make any more mistakes moving forward. But anyway, story to tell. I mean, this doesn't happen every day, so something has to go wrong. So I just wanted to share that story. Continue watching the vlog. Eating alone is not like common in Korea. This place, and they had like a table for 6, and I was the only one sitting on it, and I ordered my food. I ate it. It was a little awkward, got some stares, but you know what? That's a part of it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, just our just no.
Nah,
no.
just go for it.
Yeah. You can try it.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but you can try it.
What do you say for cheers in
건배.
Kombe? Today is the perfect day to check out the Seoul Tower. My hostel is like 2 minutes away, literally, so it was meant to be. It's not snowing today, it's not raining. It's a good day. Good day, everything just works out perfectly in the end. I had heard so much about the Seoul Tower. It's just such a picturesque place. A lot of couples come here to attach the lock of love. So I went there, I read some really cute messages, and I ended up putting one myself. I was expecting this moment to come when I would get like a little bit of FOMO or loneliness on the solo trip, because it happened to me on my last solo trip, so I was expecting it, and this is when it hit. So I'm like, here it is. But I had a really special moment putting that lock there by myself. It was just like a me moment. I did go home and journal some, and that was so important because these are the moments when you get to really reflect on yourself and your journey and writing things down, because that's where the growth happens, and it's beautiful. The next day I was changing hostels and I was moving towards Insadong, which my previous hostel's host recommended, who became a good friend actually. And this is why I don't like to pre-book my entire trip on a solo journey. I only book like the first 1 or 2 days max. And then I think people just kind of fill in the rest of it. You figure out what you want to do when you go there. The best way to solo travel in my experience. Because I wouldn't have found out about this place if it wasn't for a local that I spoke to. So this is in Sadong. I walked through the entire street, and they have these small alleyways that are super, super cute. Cafes are a big thing here. So all I would do is go to different cafes, have like a warm tea in this snowy weather, and try different teas wherever I went, did a little bit of shopping and exploring. And it's just so charming, these small lanes that they have with tiny shops and cafes, and it was such a vibe. Just where I went in the morning, at night, this was a whole different vibe. There were lights everywhere. It was like a garden of lights. I've never seen so many lights in my life, but it was just so beautiful. I met my friend for some Korean barbecue. The food is so fresh everywhere I went, and I didn't want to miss out on the Myeongdong Cathedral. Perfection, literally. Oh yeah, it looks like a dot on my camera. We had some tiramisu and some tea and just finished our chit chat. Getting to know different cultures is just one of the best experiences when you're traveling solo, because you have the time and space to meet new people and talk to them. Really, I'm so grateful for her friendship. It was such a good experience. On my way back, I ended up shopping for a bunch of skincare. Ended up spending like 200 Canadian dollars. I was daydreaming and I got off at the wrong station. It's okay because it's only one station. I feel so spoiled because in my head I'm like, oh, what a long day of shopping. It's expensive to be me. That's what I've realized today. Gotta work hard to maintain my lifestyle. This is the new hostel that I was staying at. No matter which hostel I chose, the standard of living was just up there. This is so cute. There are 2 bunk beds here and there's no one in the room, so it's just me. Basically, I got like a private room at hostel price, and that's couldn't get better. I figured my next destination is coming soon, and that's Busan. I needed a printed ticket for that, and so somehow I had to figure out how I'm gonna get that printout. This is more complicated in a place you don't know the language. This out by myself because there was no one there to help, and I figured it out. This was literally one of my biggest accomplishments because I could read nothing. I did a few more sightseeing. COEX Starfield Library was one of the landmarks that I wanted to visit in Gangnam, and this was like a huge library with a beautiful Christmas tree, which is humongous. There's also the Gangnam Style statue. You can actually play the Gangnam Style song. They had like a system set up to play it. Another thing I did was rent a hanbok. That is a traditional Korean outfit. And I roamed I'm not even going to try and say the palace's name, but this is one of the famous palaces right in the city center. Another thing to do is party and shop in Hongdae. Everyone must have heard of this, but again, this was such an amazing experience. There's so many different areas and so many different vibes. I decided to celebrate my birthday in Hongdae and Itaewon, which are like the party districts. So that was the plan. And I also celebrated Christmas Eve in Itaewon, which was amazing. The next place I was heading was Busan. Busan was such a different experience, and that's where I'm headed, but you gotta watch part 2 for that.